Hi everyone, so it is finally the weekend, which I am very excited about. As always, has been another busy week for me, and this weekend I really just want to stay home and just enjoy all of my hobbies and the things I love. So that is what I plan to do. I am in sort of a winter hibernation mode right now, just because it is really cold. Going out and doing things is becoming so expensive, and I am really just trying to save. I don't want to be tempted, so I'm just going to stay home and enjoy all the things that I like doing on the weekend. I'm also fortunate that I'm somebody who doesn't get lonely. I'm obviously very introverted. I am very happy to just kind of be on my own, doing my own kind of thing. It's definitely not hard for me to stay in. I do just want to update you on a couple of things. So what I've been reading, but also playing, because I did finish Elden Ring. As you may have seen if you follow me on Instagram, because I was posting about that a lot on my stories. I finished that game, which is pretty crazy to me because I really felt like out of all the From Software games, that would be the last one that I would finish. But I just got so addicted and I was just so into it and I could not stop playing it that I just had to finish it. So yeah, I defeated the final bosses, which were tough, but not as hard as Millennia for sure. And then I did also finish Shadow of the Erdtree, the DLC, but I did kind of make a little mistake where when I finished the base game and the credits rolled and then it came up with the option for Journey 2, I accidentally went into that. So essentially that's like starting the game all over again with no access to the DLC because you need to be progressed to a certain part of the story. But thankfully with that, I still had all my weapons and my stats. So I was really over leveled for the start of the game and I was able to progress through and get to the DLC. I want to say it took me about 6 to 8 hours to do that. Oh, Rico's just coming in to say hi. Hi Rico. Hello. He's a bit camera shy. But yeah, I did get to the DLC, thankfully. So it did set me back a bit. And I finished Shadow of the Erdtree. I think it took me about 2 to 3 days. And I do work and have all of these other things on the side. I wish I could just game for 2 to 3 days straight. So obviously in my free time. Really great DLC, one of the best DLCs I have ever played. And obviously with Elden Ring, there are so many side quests and secrets and areas to explore. So I'm absolutely not done with that game. And I'll be going back to try to find all of the hidden things that I missed and do all the side quests and try to get a different ending as well. I am now fully into Dark Souls 1 Remastered. And I have to say, out of the From Software games I played, being Bloodborne, Elden Ring, and now Dark Souls has been the toughest one starting off for me so far. And I was getting so frustrated with it. I guess because I've put so many hours into Bloodborne and Elden Ring and they are similar games, obviously coming from Software, I was hoping that my experience would help me with Dark Souls, but it really did not. And obviously even though there are some similarities, Dark Souls came out a long time before these games, so it is very different. And I've heard that all the Dark Souls games themselves are super different. So it's been a tough learning curve for me, but I'm finally progressing through now and leveling up and feeling better and less frustrated. So I'm excited to get through the rest of the game. Not sure how long this is going to take me because yeah, it is pretty tough. And I'll just talk about my reading updates as well really quickly. So I have just finished reading Japanese Gothic by Kylie Lee Baker. This was my Patreon book club read for June. So I just finished this a couple of days ago. This was a really interesting read, very unique storyline, quite gory, very eerie imagery. It is set in Japan, obviously. And while I did enjoy the book look for these things. I do feel like for me, I was just getting a little bit lost because I was getting a bit confused with some of the storyline, but I feel like that's intentional. So maybe this is just not the type of book for me. I would like to read other books by this author, such as Bat Eater. That has been on my list for quite a while. Apart from that, I just felt like it just dragged on a little bit for me, and I was just kind of waiting for something to happen. It just felt a little bit too long. But I do think this book is worth reading. It is very interesting and unique, as I've mentioned, so I would rate this a 3 out of 5. I did then start reading The Devils by Joe Abercrombie, which I showed in my last video because I just recently purchased this beautiful edition. I'm not too far into this. I only started like 2 nights ago, so I've been reading a little bit before bed, and I'm only 50 pages in at the moment. The characters so far have been very interesting. There's 2 characters that the story is focusing on at the moment, and it's sort of like 1 chapter for each, and you kind of just want to keep reading to see what happens next. It has been quite funny also, which I didn't really expect. A very interesting one. And yeah, I'm liking this medieval setting with the plague as well. Other than that, I am keen to keep reading it to see what happens to the characters and how the story progresses. But I have just received an exciting delivery from Heretic, who I have talked about a lot because I really love their fragrances. I have quite a few now. I'm very lucky. I just opened this up, so I'll show you what they've sent me, which is the new Ghost Discovery set. I think this box is so beautiful. I am loving the artwork on the front here and the colors of this as well. So this is their newest Discovery set, which just came out very recently, I think in the last 2 weeks. And I was really excited to receive this one, not only just because I love all of Heretic's fragrances, but also because this is a collaboration with an artist that I really love, which is Chelsea Wolfe. I really love her music, and I was lucky enough to see her a couple of years ago, and she was incredible. And I know she's done some fragrances before, but I wasn't able to get them here. So this just makes me even more excited to open these up. So I'm gonna have a smell of all of these now. That is what the box looks like underneath. Again, just really simple but beautiful. And they've also sent me this manila file, which has some confidential documents. There are 5 files in here, each with a spooky, ghostly photo, which goes through all of the different fragrances. And they're files from the Bureau of Paranormal Investigation, and they're like little incident reports. So I'm gonna go ahead and open this up now. I love that this has a little book at the front, similar to the Rhubarb Thief Discovery set. So there's that beautiful image again. A lot of information on the scents in here because there are 5. There's also a little section about layering the fragrances. I don't know if you'll be able to read that because it is quite light, but there are some combinations here for layering these, which is great because I do like to layer fragrances. And then inside we've got the 5 fragrances here, and there's some cards here also, starting off with Spectral Grace. That's the report file there, and each of these has the observed effects section. Hopefully you can see that here, which goes through the different notes. Okay, so Spectral Grace, ethereal, elegant, and haunting. And the notes mentioned here: lily of the valley, jasmine, ambergris, pale musk, sandalwood, and it's meant to be clean and floral. So, oh, that is really nice. I can definitely smell the floral scents with lily of the valley and jasmine, but the amber in the background, and then it does have that sort of musky sandalwood scent as well. Personally, I'm not usually a clean scent person. I don't have any clean scents. I've never really smelled one that I've liked, but this one is really nice. It smells very light as well. The next one I will do is Shadow People. Oh, accidentally just broke this, my bad. I'm too excited to open these, clearly. And this is the Shadow People file. This is kind of making me want to watch the X-Files a bit after looking at these. So, Shadow People, observed effects, scent notes, unexplained cold spots, dust notes, petrichor, ply. I don't know what that is. I've never heard of that before. Dark florals and muted spices. Let's give this a smell. This one is very unique. Definitely getting the petrichor and a little bit of the florals. With the muted spices, I am smelling a spice here, which I just can't think of what it is right now. It is something familiar, but I'm just not sure. I'm sure it's going to come to me later. This again to me does have like kind of a clean kind of scent, and it reminds me of one of the Comme des Garçons fragrances. They're all very unique. It reminds me of something from them, but I don't know the name of that one either. But yeah, that one is very different. These are going to be a little hard for me to explain. I'll do my best, but they're very different to what I usually wear, which is exciting because I'll be exploring new things to try. I'm going to try Doppelganger. Here is our little case file for Doppelganger. I really like this image. So just opening this up and looking at the notes: supernatural musks, cold citrus, soft florals, sheer woods. And it says an olfactory replication. Okay, just pulling this one out, I can already smell it. And I really like this one. It does have that musky scent with the florals. The florals are really coming out for me with a little bit of citrus as well. Wow, I really like this one. This is my favorite so far. Next up, I'm going to smell the Veil. And I'll show you the little case file that we have here. There's that one. So the mention notes here: orris butter, vetiver, atlas cedarwood, patchouli, and veramos. A lingering presence like memory that refuses to fade. This one smells a lot lighter compared to the other ones, like it's very subtle, but I can smell the vetiver and the cedarwood and the patchouli. I don't think I've ever smelled orris butter or veramos before, but whatever that is, I really like this combination as well. And yeah, I like how subtle this is. I feel like this is a good one for those days where you don't want something too strong. And the last one I've got here, and I've lost my paper clip somehow, is Ectoplasma. That's a little incident file. The notes here: bizarre citrus, juniper vapor. I do love juniper. Cold air, pale florals, ambergris, dust, and skin. A presence both alien and intimate, like breath against the unseen. I really like the way they've described all of these. So let's smell this one. Oh, I like this. I can smell the citrus and the juniper. It does have like a cold kind of smell, but not petrichor, something different. And I can smell the pale florals in the background as well. It does have like a kind of sweet smoky scent, which I've mentioned before is my kind of favorite. That is another one that I really like. These definitely all have a very ghostly kind of scent, so it does live up to the name for me. I think it's the musky kind of cold elements of these that work really well, and I definitely can smell how these could be layered nicely together. I really like all of these and I would wear all of them, but I think if I had to choose one or two to wear right now, my favorites would be Ectoplasma and Doppelganger. Those two stand out to me the most, I think, because they do have hints of things that I usually am drawn to. So for me, that's usually a bit of smokiness with a hint of sweetness. But that's just me personally. I think fragrances definitely are very personal and they're different for everyone. But yeah, I really love these two and I would consider getting full sizes of these for sure. So I'll definitely add those to my wish list, but I am really impressed by these fragrances in this discovery set. A few of you have already asked me about it, so if you are going to be getting this one, or if you've already got it, let me know what your favorite fragrances are from this discovery set, because I would love to hear your picks as well. But a huge thank you to Heretic for sending me this to try out. I just received an exciting parcel, which I meant to open yesterday, but I just didn't have the time. The Bloodborne 10th anniversary vinyl, which I ordered months ago, and it's finally arrived, so let's open it up. This has been opened up now because I filmed the unwrapping of everything for a reel which is on my Instagram, so if you want to see me unwrap everything you can head over there to see that, but I'm going to show you now everything that's in here anyway. This comes in a really beautiful box. These are some of the details. Here is the back, which is just so cool for the old blood, so I will go ahead now and open this up. So I got the limited edition one, which has 3 vinyl in total, and it's also got this slip mat, which I love so much. So I'm going to put that onto my record player in a moment and show you what that looks like. Just these details. So here we have the original soundtrack, volume 1. And on the cover, we've got the Hunter. Here's the back and the songs on here. Some of my favorites are on here, which I can't wait to listen to. And then inside, this absolutely gorgeous artwork. You can see here is just so beautiful. And then there's 2 discs in here, so I'll show you those. So here we have the first vinyl. I'm loving the marbling. And then we have side A with the Hunter. And then side B has Doll. I'm loving these details around here as well. Everything just seems very well thought out. And I'll pull out the second disc here. Again, we've got the beautiful marbling and side D. So that is the soundtrack volume 1, and I'll go ahead and open up 2 now. So this is volume 2. I've got Lady Maria on the front. Love the color of this one. This is the back and the songs we've got on here. And then here is the inside again. So incredibly beautiful. There's side A. And here is side B. I also forgot to show these. This one is from volume 1, The Hunter's Dream, which is one of my favorite areas of the game really. And then on the back here we've got everybody who was involved in the soundtrack. And then this one, which is from volume 2, of course, of Lady Maria. And it's got the same sort of thing on the back here. Definitely going to be framing these and putting them up on my walls because I think they will look great. I did pre-order these back in November last year, I think. It was a really long time ago, and yeah, they did sell out, so I'm very happy that I was able to get these because as you can see, these are just so beautifully made with all of the details. I don't know if you are a Bloodborne fan like me, so I'm going to put on the slip mat now and I'm going to listen to this. I did move Doll over here because I felt like that was appropriate today.